2020. And fuck these recordings of these videos multiple times that I've made. No context. Don't care what order at this point. These are what your honorable mentions are. Just check them all out. Just fuck it. Fuck it. Don't got time. Because this fucking thing's a piece of shit that don't hold memory anymore. Nearly as much fucking memory. 16 gigs, that's all this fucking thing can hold. Are you fucking kidding me? I want to be excited about this new phone, but when I can't even fucking do my goddamn shit, especially when I wanted to have time to expand, and I can't even do it to where I couldn't even get to my fucking number one the first fucking go around. Anyways, moving on, we're just gonna go through these. No fucking context, I don't care. Because I want to be able to get to my number one and talk the way I need to fucking talk about it. As it fucking deserves. The show does not promote alcoholism, by the way. Just to clarify from that opening. But anyways. Hunter-Gatherer by Avatar. Number 25. Number 24. That's how this comboberated apparently. Wrath of the Easter Bunny. Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny by Mr. Bungle. Their demo that was re-recorded with Scotty and Dave Lombardo. Bob Mould. Blue Hearts. 23. 22. 20 People Slept On. Ruins by Daniel Tompkins. New Tesseract coming this year. Looking forward to that. That's number 22. Number 21. Seven Deaths Still Got It in them with Blood and Stone. Hagen's better of the two projects. Virus. Number 20, the other one was 21. Number 19, Ominous, given when it came out. The Unfortunate Death. Panther became Salvation. Niha, I think is how you should pronounce it. I want to say Nija, but Niha by Orbit Culture. When I die, will it ever get better? If I'm pronouncing that right. Hold on. Nope. No, will I get better? When I die, will I get better? By Skullbard. Don't say I don't do chicks. Or instrumentals for that matter. With Circadia, even more so, with Circadian by Intervals. Would have been higher, just, crazy shit's happened, including The Creator of God. Or Child Soldier Creator of God by Greg Puciato, his solo debut. Yet he has something higher on this list. And Deftones has a great year, and everything I took in, which you didn't see in this video. I apologize. I'll re-show it later before the number one if I have to, just to make all y'all feel better if I have to. So, Higher Power, 27 Miles Underwater. 13's a tie between Phanerzarek 2, Mesozonic, Cenozoic, Ocean Collective, and Fluid Existential Inversions by Intronaut, because sonically they're about the same. Melee by Dogleg. Sorry for those, I screwed up with that one. Polaris, Death of Me. Me next. I'm sorry I'm not getting these numbers right, but hopefully you can count, because it started off at number 25. So now we are now in number 10, because all those were in the top, within the top 25, top 20. We're at number 10. Killer Be Killed. Reluctant Hero. Super and Supergroup. I'll tell you what. And I screwed this on up when I talked about it in my first swim. Glue by Boston Manor. That's definitely the glue that made what they were selling me stick. That record. And we're finally getting to some country. And number 9 or 8 actually, Reunions by Jason Isbell and 400 Units. Chris Stapleton Shell here, starting over. By him, of course. Trivium, What the Dead Men Say. Shell. Protest the Hero. That's when things get interesting. Protest the Hero. With Pamphlet. And this number 4. Oh my god, this number 4. What an album. This was, it stayed in my top 5. I wanted to say that about the Trivium, but that's the thing. It's making everybody say. Yes, Code Orange is underneath. It is. I get how some people want to say it's not as good as Forever, but it kind of is. I mean, it's higher on this year's list in comparison. And I just kept wanting to come back to it. And it was, of all the things, thank you for, despite it, like, we all together within the same time frame just got shit on with the pandemic. And I want to thank, if I can, I'm going to have to pull this out because my brain is fried right now. Reba Myers. That's why I should remember it. But for being one of the few other chicks that caught my attention involved in the band. As a vocalist. Thank you. This album was just fucking glorious. And yeah. I was gonna say, I thought I kept recording. I couldn't remember. I apologize. But yeah, I love this scene. It has its moments where I can understand, but even by the end of it, even with Underneath and everything, it's so good. So good. Leaves my number 3, which should have been my number 2, but then another album came out later the year, and it was quite a year for fans of this band, especially those who love, even for the knockoffs of this band. There's one I've already mentioned, being High Power. Before we get to that one, this band, when I heard about it from Crash, is what got my attention earlier in the year, and I've had the same feeling about this that I do Pup, with their debut. And this is their 4th album, this band, and it is Driven by Ages, or Ages, something of that nature. I'd say Ages is what it's supposed to be pronounced, but I digress. Oh, I'm getting a bunch of crap in my eye. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, sorry. But anyways, it was such a good record. Not even the way it ends. Just sorry, I had to shorten this. I gotta, apparently I gotta learn to shorten my shit even more when I want to go longer and talk everyone's ear off. I hate the fact that I can only do one video at a time with this thing. It's frustrating to me. Fuck newer technology if it can't hold more memory. Other than that, I guess until my apps start getting stupid, and it's like I'm gonna hate doing this because I don't want to get rid of some apps. I can't. But anyways, at number 2, I am such a shit. Almost Deftones. Fuck yes. Deftones had such a good record. Yay. Yes. But even then, and even more so, despite Stephen Carpenter coming out as a flat earther, which is the worst news. If that's the worst news Jeff Jones gets, outside of what happened with Chi, rest in peace, my man. But this, and most of you probably would have put this at number one, honestly, and I wouldn't even blame you. However, I would blame you if you didn't give my number one a shot and realized you were right. As was the Rock Coliseum, Mike Seatown, Viral Rack, who I honestly think is kind of honorary Rock Coliseum, but I digress. And that's about this album. That's the why I rushed this one, and I feel bad because I wasn't hoping to, because this was going to be a long one like before. I wanted to give these other hours something to say, a little bit more on Chance to Breathe. But there's one I did a review of, but I feel like I need to do a redux on, and I feel like the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it here. Or at least I'm going to redux in the sense that I can finally have what I need with me to talk about it. I'm upset with the fact that my number 2, because of my collection, it needs to be in there. And you would have seen it, and I would have got to play it too, like everybody else. But the thing is, with this album, it cuts deep. I'm gonna get woes me, but I'm still gonna wind up talking about the album. So if you can at least deal with that and still hear what I have to say about the album, just go ahead, guys. Just still stick around at least. But if not, I kind of understand, or at least up until I say what it is. But y'all already know, and from what I've already hinted at, you do. And I'm not sure I care if I get copyrighted for it, because this band deserves something, man, with the hell year that 2020 was and what they did for us to get through it, man, with what they released here. When it came out, technically it was before it, but it was when word was coming out with the pandemic. And this was really just more so the state of things when it had come out. It was a week or two after Super Bowl. It's almost been, I think it's almost been that close to a year at this point, from that point. And that this album has come out too. But it had that long to marinate and stick. Even if I hadn't, I knew from the moment it was heard, and from when I heard about it through Spectrum Pulse, and then even more so through Crash Thompson. I even talked about it to the boss himself, Ben Bateman. For those who keep up with Marshmallow Rocks and stuff, you know who I'm talking about, hopefully. But yeah, I was in a bad spot. It's not that I wasn't since my breakup with my girlfriend, which honestly, when that happened, I was still in the band. But the thing is, I knew the band was going to be on like some kind of a hiatus, or if it was even, or potential breakup anyway. So I was expecting that, and I wasn't, because him and the drummer had to pop a kid, and ever since the drummer with the kid, he wasn't able to handle it. And there were moments that in this album that remind me of him too, so that it plays a part in that as well. But I won't say who. I might just throw his first name out at the very least. I won't say his last name. But Chris, if you're seeing this, you hope you did, and I hope you're still alive after listening to this one, because I understand it's a dour, but the thing is, it's real about it, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel of this thing, and it has hints that it does that. I love what this record does. I can't not listen to this album not be in tears. You know? And the moment, like I said, in the moment I listened to it, I knew this was the one. And I've never said this about an album in my other times, aside from maybe the Thrice record and maybe to some extent between the Brand New and the Elder record, which is why I'm very upset with the recent release this year. 2020 was not kind to you, and neither were those synths, Elder, but to each his own, I guess, with that. But and this is apparently their third, even though I thought it was their fourth, but I can't seem to put this album down long enough for me to get to those albums, and eventually I will, guys. Because this album is my Redux. And it's a disservice for you to diss this album and not give this a shot. Everyone has said enough about it. I'll say, woe is me. I say my piece. I'm probably in circles, but I'm going to get to it right now. Because the number one album is Brave Faces, everyone. Spanish love songs. On any given day, I'm a 6 of 10. Bed to desk to bar eyes on the floor. Still apologizing for the way I've been. Each breath more full of shit than the one before. You know the negative consumes me. 'Cause I'm alright, let the guilt pass right through me. And though after this it's so for me personally, but I know some people. So I can empathize, I guess. While my friends are taking dives off of cliffs, I'm just worried about the songs I'll never write. It don't matter, they don't want to hear me from the other side. Again, I'm not trying to promote alcoholism, even though this song's about it, but so let me ruin my guts tonight. So let me ruin my guts tonight. And that third verse, on any given day, I'm out to break your heart. On any day you'll bleed me my self-worth. I'm done asking what's the point of finishing the things we start. When we've got 10 years with these bodies and maybe 20 on this earth. Even though I think it's really, from what he says, 3 years with this bodies and maybe 20 on this earth. He said couldn't take another summer in this place. Everyone in this bar is the same everywhere I look. It's scorching pain. Or am I gonna be this down forever? Am I gonna be this dumb forever? Am I gonna be this gone forever? Am I gonna be this numb forever? Then have you ever felt lower than everyone else? I'm feeling lower than anyone else. If everything's lower than everything else, I want to see how much lower we can go, which this album can tend to fucking do. It challenges the rest of this album to do it, and it fucking lives up to it. Self-destruction, and with self-destruction, acceptable career choice, but at the end of the day, And despite even Generation Loss is such a great track, even when you have moments of when you're 29 in a panic attack, not the fashionable kind, the kind where you say, hey man, I just want to survive, but this world is short on empathy. You got out of your parents' place. I wish I could say that. Started making money, crashed your car, and now they want your license, and they do just enough to make you feel like you fucked up when you realized you couldn't keep yourself clean. Kid, you're not half bad. Little more than it is. Why are you complaining if they're not listening? We're just so fucking tired of explaining ourselves. We throw a pill down our throats or ourselves into the ocean because half our friends are dead, the other half are depressed. In this budget rate life, the borderline's looking thin. You've said enough is enough. Always feel like you fucked up, so driving out into the water because you leap of faith. All I see is you floating, so I turn my stereo up, living bender to mineral. This is enough. You always feel like you fucked up. So what's the point of keeping yourself in line? They won't name you in the papers. I see you out past the breakers, the same smile you've had since you were 5. I know that life is long enough, didn't think you'd speed it up. Feel selfish that we still want you alive. Memorial wasn't bad. Some people tried to understand, thought you were complaining, but we weren't listening. Kick isn't just keep your head up if you're down. Drive. It's just, but not okay is what is expected. But you died there in the capsule. The truth in what they say, the world is gonna kick you either way. Beachfront property hits a lot. By the point of this record, this track is just Losers hits pretty hard too. Optimism as a radical life choice. Just and then at the end of the tunnel, and Dolores was huge for me. Losers 2, just last one standing. Hits a lot for me too, the most. Even that bass line hits so good. And with the clamoring guitars that come in that lead work. Staring like a stranger from the dirt field across from me in my childhood home, noticing how out of place I looked there. It's a place I can't afford. When my family lost it back in 08, we swore it was just a setback. All we needed was to graduate and keep ignoring facts. Don't you know you were born to die, poor man? Don't you know you're going to do yourself in? You'll always wake up tired because there's nowhere to go from here. Stuck working at that third job, driving well-meaning moms to protest for minimum wage, still depressed, still living for the weekend, still terrified to die at your age. No cancer, no crash. It better all go as planned, or one day soon you're not gonna get by. No damn well there ain't a promised land. The cost of living means the cost to stay alive. They say that these are our exciting days, at least until they act our age. Now I'm just a walking tragic ending. Fuck, I don't want to be the last one standing. Which adds to the second chorus. Time the chorus kicks in. So I'm leaving the city, maybe the earth, maybe the earth. Gotta find a place of my own where the fuck ups aren't cops, and the rest of us won't burn out. Displacing locals from neighborhoods we're afraid of. Know if we weren't bailed out every time by our parent. Patrolling neighborhoods they're afraid of, and the rest of us won't burn out. Okay.
What are you doing?
I'll edit that out. If I can. Know if we weren't bailed out every time our parents would be dead. What's going to happen when we're dead? And I'll just leave you with this, guys. And then I had my situation with him. And yeah. And then in Memorial Day, and for those in the Action Army and all those chat groups the talk board was involved in at the time. Thank you. I know I may be a bit whatever, but it's more just, and some of those dungeon heads too. Thanks. get me through it and everything. So, overall, thank you. This and to these guys. Sometimes I do feel like burning down my life again. Watch the fire spread over my skin until nothing but the skeleton, a pile of dust. But the thing is, brave face is everyone. The thing is to just get through life and put on a brave face. And what better way to do this? And that's what made this song stick out, especially with the point between so I think we'll never find our own place if and nothing gets better. Why can't we say fuck it? You know it's not what we need. And then it gets to a point where everything, all the lyrical contents of certain moments that were hit hard come in and echoing into your ears from the way this album is mixed. And then you finally get, I'm sick of yelling at strangers, don't want to do this forever. When it all burns down, will you carry me over? The final lines, I'll leave you with this. And it sucks that you guys, Spanish Love Songs, all you guys didn't get a chance to reap the rewards of one of the greatest albums of this entire decade and possibly this century in general. The greatest Midwestern emo pop punk album that will ever exist. And is what maybe turned me on to a lot more of turned me on to other Midwestern emo bands, but they won't live up to this. They won't. And then I just dealt with so much other frustration, just not being able to, just feeling like you're living life of failure, just barely being able to make it to work in time, and just dealing with all that. And just trying to keep yourself sane throughout all the bullshit. And then it sucked even more when the following week after what happened with me and my old man, that was that incident that led with George Floyd that led to all this other crap, including what led to screwing over the Schmoedown and what could have been with that. And this leaves me with this. The message that I think we could use going in from 2020 going into the rest of this year of 2021. We don't have to fix everything at once. And I'm still learning this, by the way. We were never broken. Life's just very long. Brave faces, everyone. See you in the rest of 2021. 3 albums coming up and hopefully whatever I can do to play catch up with the rest of everything. I'll probably just talk in the dungeon about, instead of making it my first Schmoedown Rocks, I was going to, but forget it. Just, I'm in order to properly keep up, I'm going to have to go on in the dungeon and talk about it eventually later this evening, I guess. That's what I'm going to do. Because I can't do it with this thing anymore, so. If you like this video, click, also hit the subscribe button. Rock the like, subscribe button the rest of your must. As always, guys, keep random, keep real, keep rocking. Also, link in the description of Facebook page and Smash Cancer, all that stuff. And see you in 2020. See you in the rest of 2021. Hopefully, it's just as good, if not possibly better, as a year, and even for music and maybe movies if we can get to go to a theater, if I can ever get to go to theater again. So, take care, y'all.